Well, just before Thanksgiving, I was logging into my email account and I was clearing out some spam, and I had a notice from a community contributor for World of Warships, and said, "Hey, you came in first place in one of our contests," and I'm like, "What contest?" And I did a little research, and it turns out that there was an open contest going on, and one of the ships in the contest, the Pensacola, apparently I did the highest amount of damage for it during the time period the contest was going on. Now I lost that match, but I did almost 160,000 damage during the match. But anyway, they took that back. They took that information. That automatically entered me into a drawing. And apparently I won top prize because not only did I win 21 days of free premium time, I also won my choice of premium ships. And I decided I was going to give the Belfast a try. So with that, I picked myself up an HMS Belfast, and as you can see here, we're in World of Warships, and I am playing on the estuary map in a very tier 8, tier 9 game. It's not looking too good for me, but keep in mind that Murphy's laws of combat apply to games like this as much as they do to real life, and the particular the particular law of combat that I'm thinking of here is titled, or is called, "Don't look conspicuous. It draws fire." Well, the best way to not look conspicuous is to tuck in behind an island so nobody has line of sight on you, and just spam your targets with whatever ammunition happens to be loaded up in your barrel. Now, in this particular case, I am spamming HE at this enemy Belfast. You could say that maybe shooting armor piercing might have been a better idea, but he's right at the limit, and you know what? I'm getting good accurate fire down range, and I really didn't want to switch up my ammo type, because I was, like I said, getting good fire down range, getting fire started, doing good damage with the HE, and, well, there he goes. Now, I had originally decided to not go to the D zone simply because of, well, you can see the map situation. Low-tier cruiser, I don't want to go sitting out in the open, and it was by all means the right decision because there are multiple enemy battleships and cruisers coming around that way. So I'm hunkering down, again, behind an island where I can't be seen, and I am just going to go ahead and spam HE, or as the case may be, but not right now, at whatever targets happen to end up in front of me. And right now, it's this enemy North Carolina, and I am putting a few of my shots into the rocks in front of me. I'm trying to ease forward and backwards just so I can find that sweet spot. But the North Carolina is just a little too much inside my gun range, and besides, our friendly Tirpitz is taking care of him. So I go ahead and decide to open up on the Iowa, and he's a little further away, which means I get a little bit more gun elevation, and I get a little bit more. I've got a slightly more. Yeah, I'm gonna have him in my. He's gonna be downrange of me for a little bit longer. Unfortunately, I ease forward a little too far. I'm trying to bring all 4 guns to bear, and it's actually a little tricky right now. So it's just my rear guns right now. And again, I'm looking for shots on whatever I get shots on, which is pretty much all you can do sometimes. But I'm also watching the mini-map at this time here, because that Iowa and that Otago and the other Iowa and that Hipper out there are all making a run past the end of the island that I am hunkered down behind. So again, I'm going to fire, shots at whatever I can get shots off on, and can't find the sweet spot to hit that Iowa. He's just too close to the island. So the first Iowa, it looks like I should be able to come back. Now, again, at this point, I'm trying to decide exactly when I want to start moving out. and I just got to take shots again at whatever I take shots on. So the Atago is off in the distance, and he can, and I have been spotted. So I'm just gonna, again, pull forward. That is one thing you can say about the Belfast. It is quick. It will get you out of trouble fast. The trick is to not get yourself into trouble too fast. It is a light cruiser. It is pretty fragile. And I'm taking some fire from somebody out there. Looks like the Atago and probably that Hipper as well. So you know what? Time to get out of Dodge. And I am sorry about the jerkiness here, but it's a combination of the replay and Bandicam, it looks like. But anyway, I found the range to the Hipper. Get some good hits on him. And I am spotted, and let's try not to run into the island. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and drive the ship instead of trying to drive and shoot at the same time, and do my best to avoid taking any kind of incoming fire. So now, the nice thing about the Belfast, it fires very, very quickly, very fast reload on the guns. So you know what? It does not hurt one little bit to take speculative shots. So I've left the east behind me, and I am coming over to the western side of the map, or actually more to the central side of the map. And now I am looking at the Frederick der Grosse, the enemy battleship there. Again, another Tier 9 battleship. And I'm trying to figure out how to get some good hits in on him without exposing myself to just a barrage of fire. And I could have swung north because his guns are probably pointed to the south, but I would have been the only one near him. And you know, if you've got a light cruiser or point blank range and you're in a battleship, you definitely want to take advantage of that. So put some fire out again on the Iowa. I'm watching his guns. He has not got them pointed in my direction, and I go ahead and smoke up. Okay, now the fire's coming this way, and I'm just easing forward. Don't quite have the range of the Iowa, and I take a hit from the Iowa. Ouch. And now I'm detected on somebody's radar. Well, you know, it doesn't matter whose radar I'm on. If I'm detected, I'm detected. So the question is, can I dodge fire from this guy long enough for that radar to go away? So I keep working on this Iowa, on the near Iowa. And again, I'm just trying to ease back and forth in my smoke, and there's not a lot of room for error here. But I am just barely still not spotted, even though my front end is sticking out of the and I'm trying to get some fires set on this first Iowa here, and he's taking another shot at me, and here it comes, pucker time. Nope. So all right, so this guy, whoa, okay, don't know what happened there, but that was funny to watch in game. And I put some other fire down at this Iowa, and just short. And I don't feel bad about putting more fire down range at him, but unfortunately, oh no, fortunately, I do end up getting him. So while all this was going on, I was keeping an eye also on what that Frederick the Great was doing over there, and I saw he was moving around. So I start pulling out, get around, and my smoke screen's long gone. That's okay, I can wait for it. But now I can do, well, the same thing I was doing on the other side of the map, and that's just lob shells over this island without too much risk of being shot at. And now again, I said without too much risk. The Atlanta's at point blank range to the FTG, and between the two of us, we are just tearing this guy up with high explosive, and that's pretty much what I got to do. Pretty much what we both got to do. That's all we can really do. I've got a fire set another fire, and I don't know if he was dodging torps or what, but he ends up running himself aground. And at this point, it's just a case of, well, I've got the range to them. Just keep lobbing in the, high explosives. Try to get more fire set. Try to get more module damage. Incapacitations. There's another fire, and he is just ticking down really, really fast. And there we go, my second kill. So overall, how are we doing? Hey, not too shabby. We've got 5 ships left. They've got 3 ships left. However, they are capturing point C. We are capturing point B. But the other unfortunate part is that we are kind of split up. They've got all their ships in or around the sea area. You can see both cruisers, and you can also see the last spotted for the enemy destroyer. And we've got a battleship and a cruiser at the south side of B, another cruiser at the north side of B, me sitting in A, and a destroyer trying to make a run on the sea point. But now, for some reason, I have armor piercing loaded here. Oh, that's right, because, you know what? Enemy cruisers. They might be coming around the island. So, let's try to lob some armor piercing downrange and see what happens. So the Otago takes a hit, probably from our battleships, and I am trying to avoid getting in line of sight of things here. And I'm going back to the HE for a simple reason that the Hipper's angled, he's at long range. That destroyer might pop up, and that destroyer, as you saw, was on very, very short health. And I'm worried about potentially torps coming in, so I went ahead and activated my defense. Crap, that might finish the fire. My hydro search, and I got my smoke up. But ouch! 2 Citadel hits from that Hipper. Okay, fine, and I take some damage from the Otago, but I'm going to go ahead and get as much fire out on him as I can and try to back into my smoke. And I made the mistake there. I was moving at full speed, and I'm so used to the American destroyers, well, especially destroyers, but especially the American ones, that I pop my smoke as I'm starting to slow down, and I know I can be pretty much safely in my smoke, or be slowed down enough in time enough. So that's what happens when you get old reflexes like that. You get built-in reflexes. So, unfortunately, I was a little too conspicuous. I drew a lot of fire, and I'm down to potentially 1 salvo status to anything that might come up. So, I still got my hydros up just in case that enemy destroyer decides to throw some torpedoes my way. And the Belfast, again, one thing that's good about it is it's quick off the line. And my long-range fire on this Otago is actually pretty good. I'm hitting them, and I'm setting fires, and I'm getting in caps. And our friendlies, okay, there we go. Here come the torpedoes, and you know what? That destroyer had me dead to rights. He just needed me to be a little closer. So, you know what, whenever you have a good game, well, and this one is so far turning out to be a fairly good game, there's an element of luck involved, and that was an element of luck. So, I am not spotted. I know I know exactly where that Hipper is. I know where the Otago is, although he's not going to be long for this match. And, oops, we just lost 2 ships just like that. Okay, but I also have a decent idea of where that destroyer might be, because you can see that smoke screen popping up, and sure enough, there he is. And just overshot him. That's okay. You bring my rest of my guns to bear. This is a fairly easy shot at this close a range. And enemy destroyer sunk. And now, the Otago, it looks like he's running himself aground, so I get my shots out there, but doesn't have to happen. So, our destroyer is down as well. The Hipper, it looks like, took care of him. I just don't know when. And I've run aground. So I'm thinking, all right, where's that Hipper? 5 minutes to go on the battle. We've got 811 points to their 700, and we're capping the D point. So we can run this out if we don't, neither of us die, and if he doesn't manage to capture another point, take another point back from us. Now, I was spotted there for just a moment. I don't know if you saw that or not, but I was spotted there just for a moment by aircraft. And that means there's one in the area. Now, if there's an aircraft flying around, well, that means there's an enemy cruiser. If there's an enemy fighter flying around, that means there's an enemy cruiser around. And sure enough, I'm being detected by the aircraft again. So, put shots up, or putting my AA up to try to shoot this aircraft down so I'm not spotted any longer. And he's about to go out of my range. And here in a moment, I'm not going to be detected anymore, which is exactly what I want. And I'm moving slowly, and I'm changing my course because, again, if that hipper is right on the other side of the island where I think he is, well, you know what? He's got torpedoes. So I start speeding up, cut back, activate my radar, and sure enough, there's the hipper. Loading armor piercing, and I'm going to go ahead and pop smoke, and there he is. And I shoot down the hippers, and I don't get the citadels I'm looking for, and my radar goes out on me, but that's okay because my hydro search is up, and the hipper's fire comes in slow. And now I'm waiting for this guy to come popping up again. If again he pops on the radar. So point count's going up. I got AP loaded. There he is. Do I have do I have broadsides? Pretty much, but I'm just not getting the penetrations I want. I reload HE, but that. A salvo of HE. He's inside my detection range for the hydro search. He does not see me quite yet, but he's going to here in a few seconds because he's just rushing me down. And I'm sorry about cutting off the very, very tail end of that replay. But again, the World of Warships replay bug. I didn't want to have to sit there and do another 15 minutes of narration on that. So, post-game stats. Here we go. Really surprised at this. This was the first really solid game I've had in the Belfast. 467,000 credits, 7,000 experience, 351 base experience, 101,000 damage done, 266 target hits, 2 aircraft shot down, 2 in-caps, 3 kills, 10 fire set, a base defense, a little bit of of secondary battery damage, but nothing worth talking about. And then even completed a mission for the campaigns. And I haven't been all the way through the campaigns, as you can see. Only working on the second one, but the campaigns look like they're going to be interesting, a lot of fun, and hopefully they're as I get further into them, there won't be cases where you end up like in World of Tanks, where you end up having to do something stupid to get your mission done. So anyway. Yeah, really good results. If we go to the next screen, we can see that, I was only second on the team. So, our Missouri did a great job. A couple of kills, couple of aircraft shot down, well over 2,200 experience. Our Atlanta came in a good third. So, top of our team did well. The last enemy ship left, the Hipper. Yeah. I'll talk about him here in just a moment. So, anyway, damage done, like I said, 101,000 damage done, 61,000 done with high explosive shells, only 11,000 done with armor-piercing shells, but over 39,000 damage done by the fires I set, and that's really where I came into the advantage. Again, if you don't have that confidence that your armor piercing is going to do the job, then hell yeah, sit back there and spam high explosive. So again, I'm running a premium account right now because of the prize that I won. So I pull down almost 390,000 credits, plus some modifiers. So, but after repairs and everything, 422,000 credits of profit, 2,700 XP base XP received. A little bit of bonus for the modifiers and everything, but I've got some flags out there. The daily win, that was my daily win bonus, so 7,000 experience. So my commander actually bumped up another level. So overall, pretty pretty good results. So if you remember what I said a moment ago, or towards the beginning of the video, about not being conspicuous because it draws fire, well, the enemy Hipper driver, he had a couple of things to say about that. He hit me up in a PM after the match was over. Ouch! And basically called me out, called me a little girl, called me a bitch, called me a few other things, because I hid in my smoke and I spammed HE, and at the end of the match I would not come out and fight him. Well, again, as you recall, don't be conspicuous, it draws fire. And if you happen to be a little guy in a little fish in a big pond, you definitely don't want to be conspicuous. And I was doing the best I could to not be conspicuous this match. And, yeah. But, what happens in a match is, you get out there, you play to your ship's strengths, you play to your opponent's weaknesses. That's just smart play. You know what? You want to call me out for hiding in smoke, hiding behind islands, using my radar to find you when you can't find me, using a hydro search to dodge your torps. You know what? Call me out all day on that. At the end of the match, if I'm on the winning side, I'm fine with that. So. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the replay, and keep your eye out for contests that are being run by the wargaming community, because you never know, you might actually get lucky. So, with that, I will talk to you later. Bye.